crossing over from Isuka to Enugu campus, I had a lot of stories about the second MBBS exam. So I was so scared. Even though I was trying my best, I was reading, but most of the times I spend it, thinking about how I'll be able to pass this exam and everything. Then I was scared. Practically, that was the main thing that made me feel I was scared of the exam. Practically cut down my social media. I should know that failure is not the end of the world. It's actually not the end of the world. You don't beat yourself.
How do you feel about being a distinction candidate? How do you feel?
I feel happy, excited. It's like a dream come true, and
wow.
I'm thankful to God for making it possible.
You would have thought he was a pastor, well, not like very, very churchy, but like.
These are the etiquette that I was able to put down. Don't worry, this video will not be.
Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. It Talks with Ogo here with you on this channel. If you are new to my channel, you're welcome. Please don't forget to leave this place without subscribing to my channel. And if you have been my normal viewers, thank you so much for your support so far. So on today's topic, you can see a special guest here. Of course, if you're a medical student, you know the reason why she's here. Of course, you should know. Like, why would you know? The legendary Flora Muna. Hey, oh God. Broke grounds for us, like broke it, scattered the tables, with her you feel that nothing is impossible, like you put your mind to it. So let me not talk too much, so please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Njoku Munachiso Flora. I'm a 500 level medical student in the University of Nigeria in the campus.
Okay, so what is where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Imo State, I reside at Anambra, Oka.
Okay, yeah, that's why I got to know her, because I know she's from Anambra. I even thought she was from Anambra, but okay, no problem. So thank you so much, Muna. So let's now go right in the proper video.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask her is, how do you feel about being a distinction candidate? How do you feel?
I feel happy, excited. It's like a dream come true, and
wow.
I'm thankful to God for making it possible.
That's amazing. Like, I'm really proud of you. Like, I'm really proud of you sincerely. Like, you don't know how many people that have been trying to get distinction. Even they've been trying and like, this thing is just looking so impossible. Like, maybe I just did my part because because you just did too, and no matter how I try, still nothing that it does they fall again. So I'm very proud of you. Okay, so the second question is what is your experience with second MBBS when you had to repeat the class? How was it for you? Just tell us like a short story of how it was for you when you realized that you had to repeat a class, like you're not your normal class. How do you feel? How was it for you? Like, just tell us the whole thing you passed through.
Okay, so first of all, when the results came out and I found out that I was going to repeat a class, I felt so sad because I don't know, I wasn't used to failing an exam before, so that was like my first time failing an exam, so I felt so sad. But after everything, the support I got from my family and friends, so I decided to go back to school and then try my best to be able to make up for everything.
Okay, so like was it not devastating? Like, was there any point your parents said some words to you, or so was there any point like you just felt like you want to leave this medical school? It's not for me. So like, how can I feel like me that my brain is hot? Like, how can I feel hold me like this? Like, was there any point like that?
Not really, sure. I just felt I disappointed my parents. They were the only people that actually made me feel bad. I felt I disappointed them, but they were so supportive all through. Wow. They made me realize who I am, that failure will not be is not able to determine my future and all that. So I felt sad. Basically, I was depressed a few times, but I had to pick myself up, because if I keep being sad and depressed, I have to face the future. I have to write the exam again, so I needed to pick myself up and everything.
Okay. So the third question is, when the failure happened in the second MBS exam, how were you able to pick yourself up, start again, and finally passed all three?
Okay, so I think basically I feel like the encouragement I got from my parents went a long way in helping me, and then I had to sit down and think back and try to understand the reason why I failed the exam. I was so scared of the exam to start with. So crossing over from Isuka to Enugu campus, I had a lot of stories about the second MBBS exam. So I was so scared. Even though I was trying my best, I was reading, but most of the times I spend it, thinking about how I'll be able to pass this exam and everything. So it kind of affected me because fear has a way of making you, even when you are reading, you are not assimilating fast as you should and everything. So I had to, figure out my problem and work on it. I tried to build my self-confidence again because I kind of had a low self-esteem when after failing the exams and everything. Most times when I'm out maybe going to school and stuff like that, I feel like people might look at me and be like, oh, this girl failed this exam and stuff like that. So I had to work on myself and build my self-confidence and believe in myself that I can be able to do this and pass this exam. And I'm grateful to God that everything worked out.
Okay, so what do you think you did in your and like that changed from what made you fail in your anatomy, physio and this thing? Like what made you fail? Maybe the one you failed. What made you fail, and then the one that made you pass in this one?
Okay, I actually failed anatomy and physiology, and I passed my biochemistry. So I feel like then I was scared. Pascal, that was the main thing that made me fail. I was scared of the exam, and also when I had to repeat the class, I joined a group discussion, and it went a long way in helping me because most times I might read something and I don't understand, and then if I get to talk about it with my fellow classmates and everything, I will get some views that will help
you guys,
me.
Group discussion. Are you taking notes? Group discussion.
It's very important. Really helped. It helped me very well. So, and basically, I took my classes serious. I attended the class lectures. I went for my lectures because most times then I might sometimes decide not to go to class and stuff like that. There is no attendance and everything, but classes actually help also. It really does help because you will find out the important places that are meant to focus more on, like the places the lecturer stressed on during the lectures and everything.
So basically, guys, you can hear what she's saying, that like before when she failed the exam, she felt like she was scared. Basically, she was scared from the very beginning, and that time she was used to be fearing. That she used to be reading, she wasn't doing it, and then she was not attending class like she was more lax about things that has to do with your book. So if you want to do well in medical school, attend your classes, join group discussion if you can. It will really help and help you go in a very long way. It will help you. Sometimes you think that what you've read is in your brain, but guy, if they said cheat, it's not there. The file is empty. So you talking about it makes it stick. Even me, I'm a living testimony of that kind of thing. My school best exam, like when is it anatomy? I can't remember. Like anatomy was one of my best because every time I come out, when I just read, I'll ask somebody like, do you know what is this? I'll just ask you do you know what is femoral triangle? And the person, I don't know. I'm like, okay, let me tell you. Like from I just tell you, and from over time, I just keep finding myself like I'm knowing it. And when I see the exam, I don't even think twice. Like pam, I'm going because medical exam is like your like your spinal cord, pam, like you get to like. So try and go into group discussion. It's going to really help you as a person. So you can see what she said, and she said that she has to speak to herself. She has to be confident. She has to like every day working on herself to make sure that she's going to pass this exam, because it's not about you looking at other people and be like, oh, I failed, like I'm a failure in my life, like nothing can come good out of me. Do you understand? She has told you that, she has proved to you guys that you can actually be better. Maybe you might not be with your classmate at the point in time, but you can be better. You can actually do better. Not everybody has the same destiny. That's because this person, imagine, okay, if it was institutional class, you think that she would have gotten a distinction. Maybe she might just go to a pass, but this thing made her to go back, reflect on herself, and then made her to be who she is right now. Do you understand? Everybody it's hurtful, it's painful. Nobody wants to pass through the stress. Everybody wants their life straightforward, but like you will see that God has plans for you and it's to go really, really well. So thank you so much, Mina, for that advice. Okay, so the first question is did you plan from the beginning to get a distinction in term-based exam? Did you plan for
it? Yeah, I did actually.
So... Mado, you want to kiss it, you would try nonsense. You think that because I repeat that, I will kill all of you. She didn't get one decision, she got 2. Like there are like 5 courses, like the whole pathology are like 4 courses in one, and she got distinction in all of them. Like she didn't even leave anyone apart. Like everything was distinction. Please, I'll be listening from the woman. I'm taking notes though, so be very, very important. Take notes. All the very important. Yeah.
So actually, when I repeated the class, and there's one to be second MBBS. Once you're a repeat student, even if your scores are so high and everything, you are not going to be awarded a distinction.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So I know that I was going to get passed, even though my grades then after the repeat was very good for my second MBBS. But then I know I was going to end up with pass. So when we moved over to the next section, I was admitted from the first day that I was going to push myself. I was going to challenge myself to be able to do this. So I worked towards it and everything, and I ended up getting it. Thank
Like,
God.
how did you work towards it? Let us know, how did you work towards it?
Basically, right from the first day of class, we were told from the first day that the third MBBS is kind of quite bulky, and yes, it's actually very bulky. So I tried to make sure that I don't pack up my lectures. I tried to make sure I read like almost every time after classes. No matter, like, even though it was very stressful because sometimes you have to dismiss class like late by 5 or 6, and then you have to come back. You are tired and everything, but at least I try to make out time, even if it's 1 or 2 hours, to go through my lectures. And then in the morning when I go to school and all that, I try to read before the lecture comes in and everything. And then I also like prayer. I also pray to God. I asked God for it, and I'm so glad He did it for me finally. Also, we moved over to the next section, we were like three, my 3 friends. We formed a group discussion. 3 of us, we've actually passed very well. So we try to make out time, especially the weekend. We try to make use of our weekends to cover up for the whole like everything we did for the week. We try to use the weekend to cover up for it, solve some past questions and everything, and it was very quite helpful. And also try to cut down on my social life. Like, it's not easy, but it was worth it. I had to reduce the whole maybe grooving, enjoyment and everything. But
People have heard it though. To be a distinction candidate, your social life has to be cut down. You have to be like indoors and reading and studying. Like, you have to, like, if you don't get a distinction, just be ready to sacrifice your social life.
Exactly.
That she has told us now. So hope you're taking notes. I'm taking notes. Okay.
so that's basically it.
Okay, so like you're saying that your group discussion really helped you a lot, because like this discussion that you had in economy of business and that one that you have here,
No, it was a new one.
new group of people.
Okay, when we
Who started
finished-
it? Was it you?
No, it was my friend actually. But I've been looking for one to join, because when we crossed over, the one I had from second MB, when we finished passing it, because almost all of us passed now. When we crossed over, like, I don't know, we were not really meeting up. We were much then in that second MB group discussion.
Yeah.
So we were not really meeting up. We were not having time. Everybody had different schedule and everything. So we never had time to come together and read like then we had in UNEC. So I was meeting some people, asking them about if they have any discussion and stuff like that. So finally, I met my roommate. That was my roommate. I asked her. She said she was reading with one girl. They were just only 2. They just read together once in a while. So I was like, okay, I'm interested. I want to join you guys. So from there, it became a group discussion thing. So
Oh, I also want to ask you. You mentioned something about how you try to cover everything you guys have done in the week, during the weekend. That is amazing, because 5 topics every day. I'm not lying. 5 slides every blessed day. So she says that she tries to code it right on that weekend. Because it's not 2 days, Abby.
yeah,
On that 2 days. It's not like you guys used to finish everything.
we don't always finish everything.
Okay, but like
the main thing is just
much.
being consistent.
Okay, we're consistent with either. The one that, what about the one you were not able to read like for that week? You carried over to the
Yeah, we
next
carry
week.
it over to the next week.
Okay. Was there at some point where you were overwhelmed in this academic exam? Were you overwhelmed?
Yeah. Like, okay, when we were done with it, was our first test, because we kept postponing the first test and everything. So when we finally wrote the first test, and we were told that we had just like at least 1 month to be able to finish up our second block lectures and then still start prepare for it. And kind of second block was kind of more bulky than the first block. So at that point, I was like, are you sure I can still do this? But I had to encourage myself. I had to, put in more effort and everything. It was very stressful that period. At some point, I felt so sad. Sometimes you get so depressed, because every day after reading this, before you know it, they'll send you my slides to the group chat, and it's like they say that like all these 200 and something, 100 and something, like. It was quite tasking and everything. Even during the Christmas break, I had little or no time to myself. Basically, I went home quite thorough, but basically, I had to spend it more on my books. I think maybe 1 or 2 times I went out was just maybe Sunday service or something like that. So,
How long were you reading?
I don't know.
You don't count it, you just as long as you want to
time it,
cover.
Yeah. I just read. Anytime I'm tired, maybe I feel like I'm no more assimilating much, I just try and rest, maybe sleep or something, do something else, then come back to eat. So that was just
And your scores were showing like they
yeah,
were.
my scores. That was what encouraged me more, because when our first test, we were done with our first test, my scores came out, and I was so happy, because it encouraged me, it made me feel like, okay, I'm doing something right. Because when you are doing all these things and then your scores is coming out and then you're getting low marks, and
Yeah,
you're
it's
going
very
to actually feel
discouraging.
discouraged,
Very
and then you might
discouraging.
stop at a point. But my scores kind of helped me to encourage me and make me know that, okay, you're doing something better, just keep improving, you're getting there and all that. So
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. So so when you were like, what you was it a group discussion that really helped you in your first test, second
No.
test? Was it a group discussion
My
or your personal reading?
my first test, by when we wrote our first test, I was not in any group discussion yet. It was just me reading personally. Okay, it was only one or two times that I solved past question with my roommates. So it wasn't really, the group discussion came in when everything became tedious, because at that point you really needed the group discussion. You can't just be reading it alone, because you can't be okay. There is this thing when you are reading alone and when you are reading with people. When you are reading with people, you tend to read like
Faster.
faster and everything.
True.
So at that point, I know that it was very hard to keep to pace of reading alone and everything. We had a lot of time to prepare for our first test, so it was much easier for me then.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, Mona.
Okay, so the fifth question is, what inspired you? Like, what inspired you to get the distinction? What was the reason why? Because some people actually really failed. Like, they repeated this thing, but they didn't get the distinction. What inspired you? What pushed you? Whenever you're down moment, what makes you like, I want to go for this thing? This is the reason why. I mean, there's no particular reason. You just
So just self-inspiration. I don't think there's any particular reason or anything. I just wanted to do it myself. I just wanted to, challenge myself and know if I can be able to get this thing. And that was it. And then also I wanted to make my parents proud. I think that was one of
I'm sure they were really proud.
Yeah, very.
Okay.
They were so happy when I told them and everything. So
Okay. That's really good. Okay, so the sixth question is, what were the things you did that changed you from being an average student today to a distinction flyer?
okay, I've said them already.
Repeat again. You can repeat again.
Okay, I've already said them, Sha. They are almost all those things I said before. I made sure I attended every lecture. I made sure I was always. Most times I sit in front because I kind of have eye problems. So I think it also affected me in the second NB, because then I don't even make use of my glasses then, because later on that I now found out, because most times if I go to lectures, then if I don't sit in the front, I don't get to see anything they are projecting, the slides and everything. So I just have to stay there and listen. And most times you have to actually be seeing and listening before you can be able to grab everything that was said in the lecture. So then I now have my glasses. Then I still try to stay in front, because at least it reduces the distraction in class and everything. Because when you're sitting in front, you can't be using your phone in class and everything. Then cutting down on your social life. You mustn't you are trying to achieve something, so you have to you have to sacrifice a lot. You are not more a normal. You don't, like, if you are aiming for something high, you can't just be relaxing, maybe hanging out every time. You have to put in more effort to be able to get that thing you are trying to achieve and everything. And then practically cut down my social media. I can spend a lot of time on social media, like Twitter, all that, reading the banters and everything. But then sometimes some things have to wait and everything. When you are done with your exams and everything, you have all the time in the world to go through those thoughts and everything. So that's basically it. I'm not letting my workload pile up. Me, I don't read under stress, so I had to find a way to be able to not let the workload pile up for me, because I needed to understand everything.
Okay, so here is the last question. Thank you so much for being with us thus far. The last question is, what is your advice to people going through failure and how to come out victorious in medical school? Like, what's your advice to your fans? Because now you don't get fans, fans. Muna fans. I'm one of your fans though, so yeah. So what is your advice to people like me and the other people that are watching this video now? Like, what is your advice how to go through failure in medical school? In case you failed before, or if you repeated, or just you've not been having a smooth ride in medical school, what is your advice to people that you can actually make it and be one of the best medical school? What is your advice?
Okay, so to me, I feel like you should know that failure is not the end of the world. It's actually not the end of the world. You don't beat yourself up. Anytime you have a step back or something, don't feel like that is the end, that you cannot do this anymore. You can do it. You can do it even better than you did it, than I did it and all. So I feel like you should try to, know the reason why you actually had this issue first. Before you solve a problem, you have to find out the reason why this problem started in the first place. You have to find out if it was distractions, if maybe it was you were not reading the right things, if you needed help and everything. You need to find out what's causing the problem, and then you try to be able to solve it and everything. Don't beat yourself. Don't feel less of who you are. For you to be a medical student in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, you are very, very smart. That's one thing you should know. You are very smart to have gotten admission. A lot of people seek for this admission, but you are among those that were selected to get it. So don't feel less of who you are. Most of us, we are very good in secondary school, primary school and everything. We are always among the best. And then maybe you come to UNN medicine, and then you are feeling like you're now kind of dull and everything. No, you just haven't found a way of going about it. You can do it. Some people are night readers, some people are morning readers and everything. You just have to figure out the best time for you. You just have to figure out. Some people do very well reading privately. Yeah, some people do well. Some people don't really like group discussion and everything. You just have to find out what works for you best. And all that. Okay, if you're someone that you really need to interact with people, just like me, I feel like I understand better when I listen to someone talk than just reading alone and everything. So you just have to find out what works better for you and everything. And then when you do that, build your self-confidence. If you have failed an exam, just don't make it define who you are. Don't make it define who you are. Before you failed that exam, you were someone, you were very bright and everything. So try to build that self-confidence in yourself. Don't listen to what anybody tells you and everything. So there is this thing that always goes around, that anybody that fails an exam is not able to top the class and everything. They're always going to end up as maybe an average student or even below average. Exactly. No, your story can be different. You must not go with everything people say. Don't listen to anybody. Just put in your best. Try your best and everything, and then always put God first. You can't ever overemphasize the power of God. Always put God first in everything you're doing. Pray about it and then work towards it. Just be prayer, trust in God, and then hard work and determination. You're going to reach your goals.
Thank you so much, Mona. I really learned a lot from you. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for having you here on my channel. Thank you for speaking to our minds and telling us that we can do it. Yeah, we can make it. And once again, I'm proud of you. Congratulations on your
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. So you guys, even though you are enjoying this video, yes, thank you. I enjoy it. Yes, plus subscribe to my channel, please. Subscribe. Don't leave this video without subscribing, and share to your friends. Anybody that needs to watch this video, that it must not be in UNN. It can be in any school. This thing works abroad anywhere in the world. Do you understand? Because we're almost doing the same thing, the same life. Human life we are working on, so it works anywhere in the world. So you can do it. You can be better than you are currently. Just figure out what you have to do in the right way. You have to figure out what you're not doing well. You have to figure out what you have to sacrifice. You understand? Just get ready to do all these things. Okay, thank you so much for listening to these videos for the very end. God bless you, and see you next time on my next video. Okay, bye.
Bye.